On February 3, 1903, British colonial forces conquered Kano. Hello and welcome to Today in Nigerian History on Tarihi TV English with Modi Rabiu Kodevi. The British government proclaimed its suzerainty over what it called the Protectorate of Northern Nigeria on January 1, 1900. Its designated High Commissioner Frederick Lugard began the process of subjugating the land in a piecemeal manner. By the end of 1902, only the two most powerful emirates in the region stood between the British and the total pacification of northern Nigeria. These were Kano and Sokoto Emirates. On January 29, 1903, Lugard sent a British expeditionary force from Zaria to Kano under Colonel Morland. The force consisted of 36 British soldiers and 772 natives, most of them Hausa by tribe. It had 4 75 mm Maxim guns. 8 miles into the Kano Emirate, the British engaged in a battle with the forces of Bebeji town. The force used its guns to destroy the gates of the town. The district head, Sarkin Bebeji Sintali Iro, was killed in the battle. His corpse was burnt on a hilltop to warn other towns along the route to Kano city. Thereafter, the force marched straight to the city without any interference along the way. On February 3, 1903, they reached a place on the outskirts of Kano called Urei. They found that the Emir of Kano, Ali Baba, had left for Sokoto with most of his warriors since January 3, 1903. The few warriors left to defend the city resorted to closing all the city gates. The British started shelling the Dukawiya Gate, but failed to breach it. They therefore moved to Kabuga Gate, where they succeeded in breaking and entering. As they trooped in, they met some resistance by the officer in charge of the gate, known as Serkin Kopa, but they succeeded in killing him and his lieutenants. Subsequently, the force divided into two, one approaching the Emir's palace from its southern gate, while the other approached from the north. As they marched, the ordinary citizens of Kano became mere onlookers and did not threaten them at all. But when they reached the Emir's palace, they met with a fierce resistance. After a brief battle, the British killed Sarkin Shanu Dangwari and entered the palace. However, Kano Morland was wounded with a sword. On the day that Kano fell to the British, the Emir Ali Baba was on his way back from Sokoto. When the story reached him, he disguised himself as a Tuareg and escaped in the middle of the night with a few of his trusted aides on a mission to migrate to the holy city of Mecca. The next morning, the Kano contingent under the Waziri Ahmadu continued their homeward journey. However, they met and fought with the British force around Kotorkwashi in present-day Zamfara state. Waziri Ahmadu was killed in the confrontation. The ramp of the contingent moved on to Kano under the leadership of Wambai Abbas. When they reached the outskirts of the city, he sent a message to Lugard seeking permission to submit to the British. Therefore, Lugard appointed him the first Emir of Kano under British rule. As for the runaway Emir Alu, he was arrested at the town of Sabon Birni in present-day Sokoto state. A message was sent to Lugard, who instructed the British officer Captain Abadi to escort him to Lokoja, the then capital of northern Nigeria, where he stayed until the end of his life. For more information about the major events that happened in the history of Nigeria, follow Tarihi TV English on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.